Your body is a temple of the goddess. And Mother Earth is here, holding you at every step. Sisters are here, weaving a web for you to flower into the fullness of the woman you are. And something in you is feeling that you are being called. And you're excited about this path and eager to follow. Yet, I say, the chance is high that you're unaware of the true enemies on this path. And in this session, I want to speak about those enemies, because as we are more aware, we can deal with them in a loving, loving way and walk past them with grace and ease. So I'm Klara Adalena, and I've been teaching the path to the sacred feminine in many ways for over 20 years. And I'm really excited to talk about this here, because I've seen it so often. Women who are excited to go, and they come to my website and they come to a course and they know this is it. And then they fall back. They don't follow up. Why not? When everything in their soul is calling, yes, this is what I want to do. I have had so many intake sessions with women. Yes, they tell me, I know this is what I want to do. We have a beautiful session, and then they don't sign up. What is it that is holding you back? To talk about that, we have to understand more about this thing, this being, this beauty, this sacred feminine that is calling you. And in the end, she is a goddess. When she is fully flowered, she is a goddess. But at the moment when the first calling comes, she's more like a little girl, looking up to her parents, hoping for support. There's a beautiful story about this. It's a Russian story about a girl called Vasilisa. And she lives in the forest with her father and her mother. But the mother gets sick and eventually dies. Now in reality, that's a very sad thing. But in fairy tales like this one, it's an opportunity. Because when the mother dies, it means that the old system, the old way of being woman dies. And it opens up space for us to become the woman that we want to be. We're no longer held down by society's ideas of what a woman should be and should do. But suddenly, there is this space inside, it dies. And we can be anything. And there is this movement, this inkling, this excitement inside saying, but somewhere I know what being a woman means. I don't have any images really, but I know. I only have to follow that. And in theory, that's true. It's very true. The girl knows. But if we go back to the story, there's the father. And in this fairy tale, and it's a symbol of what I see around me, the father is pretty naive. Work hard, not mourn too long about the old mother. Find a new one, make life happen, make life sing, get things going. That's the attitude of the father. And we have that attitude in ourselves too. We feel this space, this new potential for who we can be. But we also feel something in ourselves telling us, well, get going, get your life moving again. That's the enemy. That's the first enemy. And I call it the naive father. You have to have some fun. Don't sit still the whole day. Go out, meet some people. find a course, find a way, find something to help you. Doesn't matter what. Just do something. Naive father, first enemy. Or actually it's the second. Because the first enemy was this too good mother. Was the mother that thought she knew what it meant to be a woman, but actually had allowed herself to be smothered in her free, radiant, feminine fire. She is the first enemy, and she is the one who wants to keep you safe. My little girl, stay under my skirts, stay in my home, here you're safe. Do what I always did, things will be well. Don't make yourself visible, don't take any risks. That's the too good mother. She was the first enemy, and when she died, it seemed like everything was wow. But then the second came up, the father, naive father. And then it gets even worse, because this naive father thinks we have to do something, and he remarries. But he remarries out of pain, out of hunger, out of feeling I need to do something. He doesn't really look well. And he marries a woman who smiles and is beautiful, but not really. A lot of makeup, a lot of flashy jewelry. In our world, that could be a course that looks very flashy and beautiful, excellent marketing strategy. But actually it feels a bit empty behind it. It could be friends who seem to know everything about the sacred feminine, and who dance and who have fun and who seem very secure of themselves. But do they really know what it is about? And in the fairy tale, when the father remarries, things get very bad for the girl. That's when it really hits her, happens, when life starts getting ouch. Because behind this fleshiness is actually a meanness and a will to hurt the girl, to hurt what is pure, what is real, what is fragile, what is alive. And women report that to me often. They say, you know, I had a difficult life, I was in a marriage, it wasn't working, it was hard, I had to come free from my parents, it wasn't easy. But what really hit me, they say, is when I thought I had found sisters and I was on the right path, and then they let me down. And this hurts, and it does happen. And it happens because the real three enemies live inside. It's the mother inside of you who smothers you and wants to keep you safe within her old circle. That is the enemy. It's the father inside of you that wants to push you to do things on willpower. Just to do anything. That is the enemy. And there is this voice in you. I call it the mean stepmother. There are very, very loving stepmothers, but this is about the mean stepmother. And that one just wants your death, like in the old fairy tales. It wants the death of the little girl. It wants her out of her life forever. Because the girl always reminds her, I was going for another dream. And we have that inside ourselves. Freud spoke about it, Jung spoke about it, the ancient pagans spoke about it. We have something inside us that wants to hurt us. And when we can allow that to be, and I always say, go and drink a cup of tea with her. Meet her, invite her for a cup of tea. Relax with her. and she will change. No one is bad at core, not even your inner bad stepmother. But we do have her inside, and when you fear her, that's when she seems to get bigger and bigger. In the story of Vasilisa, the father remarries. It gets really tough for the little girl. And the stepmother really wants to get rid of her. And not knowing how to do it, finally she comes up with a plan. And she lets the fire in the house die down, which in Russia is a sin. You know, it's cold out there, you need fire. It wasn't easy at those times to relight a fire, so letting the fire go out was a sin. The mother did it, the stepmother. And the young girl was cold and said, you did it. And she felt guilty. She was so young and unprotected, she thought. And the stepmother said, and now you have to go out into the forest to the angry witch, Baba Yaga. Get a new fire there. And secretly she thought, and the witch will kill you. And the little girl went. And actually that was the best thing she could do. That's the paradox. The three enemies are also the three that set you on your path. The too good mother who somehow made you feel you're valuable. The naive father who got you moving and out of lethargy, out of just sitting and waiting. And this mean stepmother, which actually let your fire die down, your inner sacred fire, the fire in your temple. That's a sin when a woman lets her own fire die down. But the good thing is, it never ends there. When you let your own fire die down, something in you rises up and it goes out into the forest to the witch to find a new fire. And that new witch, of course, is the dark goddess. And when you meet her, and when you look her in the eye, and when you dance with her, and you make love with her, she becomes the white goddess. And you will have found your sacred feminine.